The way we eat has changed more in the last 50 years than in the previous 10,000. The modern supermarket has on average 47,000 products.
The industry doesn't want you to know the truth about what you're eating, because if you knew, you might not want to eat it.
The cities of the world contain over half of the population of this world. And do you know how much land that requires to feed that half of that? Half of South America. Half of South America. That's how much land, when you add it all up around the world, that's how much land is put together to feed the cities.
Okay, so that means the amount of land needed to grow food for the entire world is about the size of South America.
Right, and that's just for crops. The amount of land used for livestock is actually way more than that, about the size of Africa.
And the global population is supposed to hit 9 billion in the next 40 years. And that means we're just gonna have to keep using up more and more land.
Yep, and keep in mind that 57% of Earth's land is uninhabitable, and about 3% is developed urban areas.
So when we hit 9 billion, that's a 25% increase. And if we continue to grow our food in the same way,
we're gonna run out of space real fast. And roughly 1/3 of the food we do produce is wasted.
90% of the farms in the United States produce commodity crops that are then converted into processed foods. And that's not how to best utilize our space for growing for human health. We need a production system that has as its goal the health of a local community.
So local control of a food system is absolutely something that we've lost and that we need to regain as quickly as we can for a lot of different.
There's all these stresses on our planet. 70% of our freshwater contamination comes from agriculture. About 70% of our freshwater usage goes to agriculture. 1/3 of our arable land has been degraded in the last 40 years. All these macro trends point to the fact that we need a new way to feed our planet.
Old industrial neighborhood is an agricultural oasis. Inside this former laser tag arena, about 250 kinds of leafy greens are growing in huge quantities to be sold to local supermarkets and restaurants. Crops are stacked more than 30 feet high inside this 30,000 square foot space. They're grown using aeroponic technology.
Typically in indoor growing, the roots sit in water and one tries to oxygenate the water. Our key inventor realized that if we missed nutrition to the root structure, then the roots have a better oxygenation.
AeroFarm says the root misting system allows them to use 95% less water than a regular field farm. They also use no pesticides or herbicides. Instead of soil, plants are grown in reusable cloth made from recycled plastic. And instead of the sun, there are rows and rows of specialized LED lighting.
The world is changing fast. If we're going to keep up with the pace of the changes around us, we're also going to have to change the way we produce food.
we're going to have to employ new farming techniques and return to some of the older ones.
Maybe we could build up instead of wide, focus more on quality over quantity, keep things local and fresh, and maybe even eat a little lower on the food chain.
There's not going to be an easy silver bullet solution for upcoming food problems. Every place is different with their own unique food challenges.
But there's plenty of improvements that can be made, and there's plenty that we can do to help.